Friends, good morning, hello, happy Sunday, and welcome to another edition of Love Wrestling Sunday Brunch right here, of course. On Love Wrestling, we've got a good show lined up. We've got some great individuals on screen. But of course, before we get to asking them how we're doing, because we're going to ask the common courtesies, we've of course got to give a quick shout out to our friends at RK Athletics. Make sure you give them a follow on social media, wherever it may be, at RK Athletics 1 if you're looking for physical fitness advice, help, workouts, anything in between, meal planning, a lot of great stuff on that end with some great people behind it. Of course, great people on screen supporting great people. Parrish, brand new returnee to RCW. I got to turn to you first, friend. It was good to see you last night. It's good to see you this morning. It's a little less good to see you carrying your current championship, what I hope is my championship soon. How you doing, man? How are things?
You know what? I decided to answer you in the way of it's a little bit of all right, because pro wrestling has taken over another weekend, and damn it, do I love it.
It is great, man. It's absolutely fantastic to be back to it, mostly in full swing here in Alberta. And Zach, you got to attend your first show in damn well near 2 years last night.
Oh my
You're sounding
God.
a little bit like I am this morning, because I was ring announcing for RCW last night. You were a fan in full force. So how you doing, man? How was IWS?
Oh, dude, it was great to be at an IWS show. I have screamed myself hoarse as IWS crowned a new champion in Speedball, Mike Bailey, in a hell of a main event against Matt Angel. IWS, great show. Can't advise people to check them out enough. They're, of course, on Fight Network, not Fight TV, and RDS if you happen to be in Quebec. But it was a great show, but I'm feeling it today.
Yeah, you and I both, and I couldn't even have a good time following because of those liquor cutoffs that we were talking about. Alex, it's good to see you again, friend. You and I spent some time yesterday on React. Before you get into your thing, I'm going to give a quick shout out to Sandy. Hello from Edmonton,
Sandy.
Alberta, on my end to you, my friend in Germany. Love wrestling for life. I completely agree. Thank you as always for tuning in. And anyone else tuned in on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, feel free to throw things in the comment sections, questions, comments, concerns, any topics of conversation. Alex, how are you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm back with the site gags. Got my Sunday brunch coffee. Kofi ready to go here. It's a little cold from yesterday, but
Law of diminishing returns, Alex.
Yeah, I know, sorry. But I'm ready to talk all out, and I'm ready to talk with you, my friends.
It's good to see you, man. And last but not least, Big Bad Bobby. How you doing, man? Good to see you.
I'm doing fantastic. It's good to see that Parrish has shined up the Love Wrestling Championship that I'm looking forward to winning down the line here one of these days.
Hey,
Everybody
Shaman's
wants a
Harvest
shot
once had
at
a
the
song called
champion.
Broken Dreams, and this is the theme to your hope of winning this championship, my friend. Drew's not using it, it's all yours.
Hey, you guys know that I'm only ever going to interrupt good banter with great things, and I've got to give a big thanks to Ed, of course, a valued member of the Love Wrestling team, but also a valued member of the Love Wrestling community. Thanks for resubscribing for the 5th straight month. Remember, friends, if you want to throw a little bit of extra support to us here on Twitch, now is a great time to do it because bada boom ties me in very nicely there. Tommy Karate hopping in. Good to see you. Any more news on October 15th's show in Edmonton? I am at least going to assume. Yes, I can at least provide to you that we are going to be announcing our first official match, our main event for Force Pro Wrestling Times Love Wrestling Change the Game tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. And if you guys subscribe to Love Wrestling on Twitch, you guys are going to get exclusive perks leading up to Change the Game because we will be streaming it exclusively on Twitch. So throw a little bit of extra love our way. It is always appreciated when you do, but frankly, there's never been a better time to do so because you're going to get a lot of, I'm going to use our one curse word. You're going to get a lot of cool shit coming up in the next about month and a half heading into what is a very cool event to be a part of. Which, again, ties me in nicely. Shit, I'm pretty good at this when I hold off on hopping on streams for a few weeks because ties me in nicely to another very cool event happening tonight in Chicago, Illinois. All Out taking place. And we talked about it yesterday, Alex. We talked about it a little bit last night. Parrish, I know we've all talked about it in the chat. It is one of the best cards I have seen in a long time. And that's really saying a lot coming from AEW, especially specifically. It is going to be a hell of a night for professional wrestling. CM Punk returning to the ring for the first time in 7 years. My personal favorite match, or the one I'm looking most forward to, in Miro versus Eddie Kingston to steal you one more time, Alex. Lots of great stuff on the card, and we are going to kick it off there. Bobby, I asked you how you were doing last, so as per usual, I am going to go around the other way on things. How are you feeling about tonight's event? And again, I'm going to take Ed's rule from yesterday. We're all very excited about Punk. We'll take a segment and talk about it, but let's maybe avoid the CM Punk chat right off the bat. That rhymed unintentionally, but awesomely. And we'll kick it off with you.
Well, you're taking all my thunder then, because honestly, I'm not an AEW fan, to be honest, guys. I'm going to lay it down. I don't watch it.
Fair
I don't
enough,
follow
man.
it. I come in and I'll watch the odd thing here and there that interests me. So obviously the Punk thing we'll talk about later. And outside of that, Miro and Kingston's probably the only other match that draws a little bit of interest my way that I might have to check out as well too.
Absolutely, Alex. It ties us over nicely. I like I said, stole your thunder a little bit yesterday on the React show. So I'm going to let you go ahead. You can wax poetic. Give us your thoughts going into the event, but let's get real. I know you want to talk about Miro and Eddie.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to it because, these two just big dudes are going to, hoss each other. The Mad King and Miro, God's gift to wrestling. Both of these guys are great athletes. You've got a long-running person in Eddie Kingston. I've actually met him. Great person. I can't wait to see what he's going to do with Miro and maybe even their clashing styles of wrestling. Bring something new to AEW and maybe even have match of the night. We don't know.
Yeah. The first time that I ever saw, and to this point, the only time I've ever seen Eddie Kingston wrestle live was at a Progress show in Toronto over SummerSlam 2019 weekend. Man, that guy is something special. And I know I'm not bringing any new information to the table saying that, right? But the guy's absolutely incredible. I am so excited. If there was going to be anybody I would want to beat Miro right now, because I think that guy's on an all-time run in his own right. It'd have to be Eddie. It'd really have to be him. So, Zach, I'll move to you. Of course, touch on whatever you want, but let us know your thoughts on the whole event.
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's I haven't been following AEW like week to week, so I can't really vouch for like the strength of the build up to the event itself. But the card itself is strong. Like, you show this to any like passionate wrestling fan, they're going to get excited for one thing or another. Lots to like. I'm really excited for the women's battle royal. I am really hoping we get an appearance by Ruby Soho. I don't know whether the 90 days have expired, but if so, like I would be thrilled to see her. And a little bit of a to take it in a little bit of a somber tone. There's certainly no right or wrong way to honor people who have passed, but I would really love for this casino battle royal to be dedicated to Daphne Unger.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really great shout, man. And of course, that's there's no other way to put it on that end of things, but that shit sucks. So anyway, you
really
pay
sucks.
Tribute, and I think the wrestling community obviously rallies around something like this, and have done a pretty good job of doing right by her recently. But it just sucks, man. No other.
Yeah, that was a bit of a gut punch this week, but like I'm sure there's going to be lots of tributes to Daphne, because she was very well loved by the whole wrestling community and the people within the industry.
Yeah.
The Scream Queen persona seems to be very much at odds with the supportive, caring force of nature she was, and she was very well loved. And I hope that manifests tonight in the program.
I think that's a great idea, man. A great idea. Parrish, your thoughts? What are you thinking going into All Out tonight? You excited? You excited for anything in particular? Something you're looking forward to? Maybe Daniel Bryan. Let's just break that ice.
Well, I just first off want to statistically back up Zach. He wasn't sure if the 90 days are over. Today's actually the 96th day since Ruby Riott was released by WWE. So Ruby Soho is more than qualified to debut at All Out tonight. So
I think I'm most excited that she didn't do a prison breakout vignette.
Right. I mean, I didn't realize there were so many criminals in WWE.
The thing is like they've all been really good in their own right. Don't get me wrong there, but like they're all prison breakout or mental facilities. And I'm very happy that like Ruby's just like catching trains and listening to punk music. God, she's cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, with that said, like I'm definitely looking like nobody's ever going to tell me anything negative about Chris Jericho. The guy to me is just a living legend in professional wrestling. He is an absolute GOAT. Zach just went bye-bye. My pick. I'm also doing a fantasy football draft, by the way. So hold on. Just grabbed a running back. Shout out to Throwback. It's their leagues that I'm in. I'm gonna kill it. But sort of perish it. But with that being said. No, I mean, Chris Jericho, MJF. I mean, we talked a little bit about last week we talked all NWA and talked about how when you have a career on the line, you tend to put out one of your best performances. And we saw that with Trevor Murdoch on NWA 73. Just an amazing performance. And when you think about like the pro wrestling thing, and I mean, there might not be a better storyteller in AEW than Chris Jericho. So this Chris Jericho MJF match, we didn't think it delivered on the last match they had necessarily, but I think this one's going to absolutely blow expectations out of the water.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it could really go either way. It really could. Do you think Jericho's actually going to ever not wrestle again? That was a really poorly phrased sentence, but you know where I'm going with it. Like, there's no way that guy's done in the ring. He's still performing at a high level, both in ring and as far as his promo work, all of that sort of stuff goes as well. But like MJF being the guy to retire Jericho would be huge, even after tapping him out 2-3 weeks ago, whatever the final labor week was. It's a very, very exciting card.
Can I throw out a potential that I don't think is likely?
No, Parrish, that's not what this show is for. This isn't for random discussion on professional wrestling.
Would this get people talking? Because every time MJF was in the inner circle, there was only one guy he always batted heads with, correct? And it was Sammy Guevara. What if Sammy Guevara turns on Jericho and aligns himself with MJF tonight? How absolutely amazing would that story be?
That'd be neat. I
right?
think it'd be neat, but I'd also really love to see those two feud after this.
Yeah, like,
I
and
think
that's
that
also what I was going
you
to
couldn't
say
go
too.
wrong
I
with
would
that.
love to see Sammy avenge Jericho after or something like that too. But oh my God, would this be a duo that's like, hell yeah, that I want to see moving forward? Because these
Oh,
guys
yeah,
are
man.
amazing workers and really the future of professional wrestling for AEW. So it would be really interesting to see them kind of align because their stories are going to be intertwined for the next decade, at least, of their careers.
Which is nuts. Like when you think about it, they're what, 25 and 24? Like,
Yeah. I mean, we're
absolutely
seeing
insane.
all these photos of young MJF, and it's just like, okay, you want to feel old now? Whether it's Punk, Jericho, all these other guys, it's like it's wild. It's
It
truly
was
wild.
pretty cool. It was pretty cool on that oral
And my
session. we were
tag
talking
partner's
about
17
earlier.
years old now, so I mean, it's weird.
Yeah, that's nuts. Son of Irish is so young. He's so young. On that same oral sessions we were talking about earlier, it was pretty cool to hear Punk talking about. He's like, yeah, it's pretty cool when people approach me backstage and they have like CM Punk tattoos. There's more than one person who does that. It's still surreal to me that he's going to be back in professional wrestling tonight, like actually wrestling a match. I have no idea how it's going to go. We debated back and forth. So what I'm going to do to close it out, because we've got a couple of clips we want to highlight here, including one from your current and new IWS champion. Let's get some predictions on the Punk Darby Allin match. No, I'm going to change that up. I started with you first. Alex, I'm going to ask you first. Who's winning tonight?
I mean, if I have to give an absolute, it's going to probably be Punk. You know, I know that they were protecting Darby this whole time, but you can't have this be your big pay-per-view with your big return and not have it be Punk. I would still love to see the kind of better ending where you have both of them stay protected and maybe we have 2.0 come out in some facet, maybe even turn it into a tag team match, but that was an unpopular opinion yesterday, so I'm going to change it.
Good. Change your opinion because making this a tag team match is the wrong opinion to have.
I mean, Teddy Long's not doing anything tonight. He can come out, play it.
That's WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long to you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My apologies.
Thank you. Thank you. Zach, I'm going to move to you next. Punk or Darby tonight?
I think it'd be a mistake for it to be anything other than Punk, unless they have something like, unless they have a huge rabbit in their in the hat, unless they have a big surprise that could somehow dwarf a CM Punk return. And like, frankly, not even Daniel Bryan is that in Chicago. Like, this is Punk's night. Can't be anything else. Punk with the 1, 2, 3.
Fair call. Parrish
or the tap out. I want to see the Anaconda Vice.
Yeah, like, I think in a perfect world, you're seeing these guys embrace, and you're just seeing a great match, and they embrace Punk win, but gives the rub to Darby Allin because he's the future, not Punk. However, we talk about if anybody's to screw CM Punk in Chicago, the Chicago screw job, Colt Cabana screws CM Punk. I would be all in for that.
Ouch. Ed Hoppinen, ticket or we riot. I completely agree. We'll have the ticket running.
How about Ruby or We Riot?
Oh, that was.
My cat and one of my favorite wrestlers shouted out in the span of 10 seconds. This is a day. This is a stream.
It must be your birthday.
Zach brings the viewers. Bobby, are you going CM Punk or are you going Darby Allin tonight?
I got to go CM Punk for the exact same reasons everyone keeps explaining. I mean, the guy hasn't wrestled in so many years. He comes back tonight. It would be, I think, detrimental to the company and for him to take a loss here tonight. Darby Allin doesn't necessarily need it in order to get over with this crowd anymore. I think that a good, strong showing from the young guy and getting defeated in the end by the experienced CM Punk will do wonders for both guys moving forward in AEW.
Yeah, I think we're pretty well unanimous on that. I think Punk's winning. The only acceptable way that I could see Punk losing, and I would still be excited, is if we get like the Planet's champion Daniel Bryan, and he screws him. That's it. That's the only way, and only because I want the Planet's champion back. I also, I personally would have a lot of time for Eric Redbeard to realign with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, but that's not the main
spider.
event. Not in the main event. Not the spider. Oh my. Drew
No,
McIntyre put that thing out of its misery. May it rest in peace and never be spoken of again.
That's like saying we want to see Mark Henry bring the hand to AEW.
Sexual chocolate Mark Henry on commentary would be something I would aspire
Imagine
to
the
have.
team, Mark Henry and hand on commentary.
You should have been
You're
watching.
talking to the hand, man.
You should have
It's a
been watching
five.
the AEW Fan Fest from last night. He was one of the moderators on the table, and he was pretty much taking over. I felt he was my spirit animal at some points.
Mark Henry is the man. He's a good dude. I went to actually same SummerSlam trip 2 years ago. They did a busted open, and he did karaoke to his own theme song, and it was one of my favorite things I've ever seen. It was absolutely terrific. Speaking of
3-6
absolute,
Mafia or
oh yeah, 3-6 Mafia.
Okay.
Like
I'd love to see RJ City do like a reenactment of that. Did you see him with Kofi's?
I've got all the time in the world for RJ City doing everything at all times ever.
Another great Canadian.
Speaking of great Canadians, speaking of terrific things in professional wrestling, and calling back to our earlier celebration of our new IWS champion, we're going to go from serious to silly. Here's Speedball Mike Bailey on the time he wrestled as Shrek.
Well, and it's definitely something that you've done at least once in your career, and one of my favorite things that I've watched of you. Tell me about your experience wrestling as Shrek.
Yeah, that was the dumbest thing. I make a lot of really, really dumb tweets. Most of them are so dumb that they're not even worth tweeting, and they just live out in my drafts. And I show them to my partner Veda Scott, and I just show them the tweets, and like they just go, haha, that's funny, you can't tweet that, and then it just dies. And I wrote one that was tweet was just, if this gets 2,000 likes, I'll wrestle in full Shrek cosplay or something. And she was like, haha, tweet it. And then I did, and then it rapidly got more likes than I had asked. And then I was like, okay, I'll do it. I don't care. And then there was this place called Good Wrestling in England that were like, hey, we saw your tweet, and we know you're booked on this show. You should do the Shrek match. And I was like,
We'll book you as Shrek.
fine.
What a
Fine.
fantastic phone call to receive.
Right?
Are we going to see it again?
I have no idea. No clue. I have no plans to wrestle as Shrek again. I have no concrete idea of when that could or could not happen. It might. I mean, if people ask for it, I wouldn't be opposed, but
To answer the follow-up that I often get with that one, yes, he did enter to All-Star, and it was terrific. I recommend everybody watch it. Mike Speedball Bailey, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, and the new IWS champion. I don't have a topic unless we want to keep going on All In. I straight up said on Twitter today, hop in the comments, because I don't have many subjects. So somebody wants to throw something out there. I'm cool with pretty well anything. We can talk about Daniel Bryan. I can always talk about Daniel Bryan. We can talk about Adam Cole. Talk about
Can we talk about Buddy Matthews a little bit? Because I
can talk about Buddy Matthews. We can talk about Buddy Matthews and his escape from prison.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, he was in more than just a WWE prison. He also had green card issues and making sure they could stay in the country. So, I mean, it works.
Oh yeah, but I don't know. I look at it.
It's repetitive.
I look at it in the
agree.
wrestling presentation, and it was fantastic, but it was not. I don't know.
But we could see him against
I'm so
Josh
tired of
Alexander. We could see him against Chris Sabin. Like, there's so many endless, amazing possibilities now that it's going to be just fantastic.
You know what the cool thing is, too? Sorry, go ahead, Zach.
Well, I was going to say, I recognize that, like this whole prison escape / insane asylum escape that has been popularized in vignettes recently by ex-WWE talent. Yes, it's cliche, but also look at any given roster at any given point of history for any promotion and tell me that this isn't like an insane asylum, like a cartoon insane asylum. Look at all these personalities meshing together. Something's not right. Something's wrong in the water.
Yeah, I agree. I can't really put it any better because the topic I was going to touch on, Ed touches on here, like the NXT rebrand. We've got that in 9 days. That's something we are actively moving towards. It's confirmed. It's terrifying. I like the new logo. Anyone else? Anyone else a fan? I find that to be a bit of an unpopular opinion.
I like it. It's poppy. You know, it's different than what they have had. I hope it's not a sign of things to come, like throw colors in our face, you know, just to make us excited. But I like it.
The arena renderings look pretty friggin' cool too. They put out that video yesterday on NXT or 2 days ago, whatever it was, and they have like the brief sketch of the arena. It looks cool as hell.
To
I'll
me,
get that.
To me, it's all about the presentation of the product and kind of like where they go with it. Because I think everything else is redundant. And I mean, it's like a bad name that we all crap on if like we don't like it because we all liked their name before they signed with WWE. But it's like it's what you make out of it, right? So as long as there's a good show and there's really like substance to there, like I think all this stuff is just hearsay and like it's just subjective for us to banter on.
Well, and Samoa Joe's champ. Like, truly, nothing can be awful or truly bad when Samoa Joe is carrying a championship. If we can just get it down to brass tacks there. That guy's the man. I'm very happy. I'm very happy that he beat Karrion Kross up so bad that Karrion Kross has to dress like a Power Ranger now. That was something I was very fond of.
Oh my God. How many times is Vince going to raid the Mad Max wardrobe department? And like, he's just going to keep doing it till it works. I think we should just give in and let it happen.
I understand the desire to make everybody look larger than life and all of that. Yeah. You've got to make people stand out. But like, you've also got to make it look good. And the guy looks like Shredder halfway through getting ready. It's like, all right, I got my suspenders on. I got my helmet on. Oh, shoot, there's a phone call. And like, rather than like turn towards the phone, he like walked down the entrance ramp of Monday Night Raw.
He's going to have more wardrobe malfunctions than 90% of the female wrestlers.
When he moves to SmackDown, is his helmet going to be blue?
I hope so.
Oh, my God.
Is it going to be changed up every brand he moves to? Are we going to get like a blue helmeted... Oh my goodness! Yes,
he looks like a Bush League version of Tron.
And I say all of this, and I say all of this with the full cognizance that man could kick my ass 6 ways to Sunday, and I have full respect for what he does in the professional wrestling ring. But let me tell you something, brother. I feel like I had to finish with that. I don't like that helmet is objectively not a good looking piece of equipment.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can put it.
We just want Scarlett back, right?
Yeah.
Man, do we ever. Do we ever.
She should just walk in, look at the helmet, shake her head, and that's the last we see of the helmet. Like, that would be the perfect...
Be like, I am not leaving you again.
Backstage vignette, you need to get rid of this. That's the first thing. This doesn't work.
But what if they put something worse on her, like worse looking than what we got on Terry right now?
What if they both have helmets?
Is there anything possibly bad they could put on Scarlett to where she can't make it look amazing?
That helmet. That exact helmet that Karrion Kross is currently wearing.
Don't cover the money.
If you put that on her, it would be bad. It would be bad on anyone. It would be bad on anyone. It's bad.
It's bad helmet.
Speaking of bad, can we go
beautiful
to,
and dangerous?
Yeah. Can we go to GCW Championship news?
We can, but first I've just got to give one more shout to that bad helmet. It's bad. I hope it goes. GCW, let's talk about good things.
If they put them on sale, I'm buying you one for Christmas.
Shop now, WWE shop.
It looks like he bought a Road Warriors mask on Wish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Or he went to Action Smash and said, hey, can I borrow this real quick?
No, he went to Crush. He didn't go to Action Smash to get the original. He went to Crush.
May I borrow your equipment?
Yep. Vince said to him, hey, remember how LLD 2000 was terrible looking? Let's keep going with that.
Remember this silly bad thing that we did? Maybe it'll work now.
Let's keep going with it.
Oh, man, I don't want to just pile on. I think we should move on to GCW. It's just unfortunate that there's like There's endless material there. There's endless material.
Next
Lots
time
of
on
love.
Sunday
Lots of
Brunch.
love. Lots of love for Karrion Kross. I again have all respect, but gosh darn, that helmet is a tragedy.
Eyesore.
Moving on.
Let's hope it falls in
GCW. Alex,
praise.
Yes. GCW.
you kick it off here, friend.
Here we go. I'm ready to talk about this. Unfortunately, Matt Cardona found out he may just been a transitional champion last night when he made an open challenge, and John Moxley answered such challenge and beat him for the title. Afterwards, we finally got a tease for Nick Gage versus Moxley for that said title. Like I said, I'm a little upset because I'm a big supporter of Matt Cardona. I was happy to see him kind of take the spotlight, but maybe this was just a reason to have the belt on him and then bring Moxley in later on. I don't know. What do you guys think about it?
I'm gutted for the GCW universe, to say the least. It is unfortunate for the entire GCW universe. Let's get real though here. Like, I love me some Matt Cardona, but John Moxley versus Nick Gage.
Yeah.
John Moxley versus Nick Gage. That's all that needs to be said, because that is going to be for anybody who's a deathmatch fan. I understand there's people who just aren't fans of the genre, but that is going to be like, check your property because your barn is burned.
Well, can I attempt to one up you on that actually?
You may, and I will be listening, but I've got to go let JP out, so I'll be right back.
By all means, but Nick Gage versus John Moxley versus Matt Cardona.
I got time for it.
Yeah.
I got time for it.
Again, I'm not a deathmatch guy, and I can't really speak intelligently too much about GCW, but like, they're doing everything right. They've got buzz to their name because of like this brief run by Matt Cardona. It's a shame that it was brief, because like he's firing on all cylinders. His Twitter presence is highly entertaining, and I know it's riling up the GCW faithful. But I also understand that there might have been some scheduling issues preventing him from continuing, but I don't know. I can't speak intelligently about that either.
I'm sorry, you called them the GCW faithful. That's the GCW universe.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
No
I will
problem.
get it right next time.
No worries.
As much as a three-way death match,
it's like singing "Hit Row." There's just some rules you got to abide by.
There's something to say about a three-way death match, like a dad's death match or whatever. But I mean, imagine if you added like a fourth, because Moxley is starting to tag with someone who's known to get a little violent too.
That's true.
So I mean, what happens if you ended up making a four-way on that one and you really went full?
Would you be talking about the draw, Sami Callihan?
Yeah, I am talking about the draw, Sammy. Get out of my head!
Do the triple threat first. I don't think there's a need to overcomplicate something that is very cool. What's good, guys? It's Brunch and Throwback is here. There are two good things going on. We are chatting GCW right now and celebrating, of course,
in his lead right now again.
Universe. John Moxley versus Nick Gage is going to be neat. Like, I can't remember which show it was at. It was a month or 2 months ago that Nick Gage and John Moxley were quite literally like brawling on the streets of LA. It was absolutely fantastic. Like, those guys are when it comes to that genre of wrestling, there likely aren't two guys better. At the very least, for me, there aren't two guys that come to mind first when it comes to death matches before Moxley or Gage. Guys are going to go nuts. It's going to be great. And throw Cardona in there. I'm excited. I am excited at that prospect. I just want to see the spinner belt continue.
Yes.
I floated a triple threat. Parrish floated a fatal four. Bobby, do you want to pitch like a fatal five-way just to like keep the ball rolling?
No, I'm just going to pass altogether. Sorry, guys, I'm not a deathmatch guy. I don't really care anything about Nick Gage or any of these guys, frankly. So I'll just keep my mouth shut on this topic.
A six-way scramble.
That's six.
Put Bobby in there. There we go.
Oh, I don't want to see anybody hurt Bobby. He's ours.
Neither do I. You know what? And let's chat on it because Ed threw it in there as well. Let's touch on some local wrestling involving Chris Parrish returning to RCW last night. Why'd you do it and how'd it go? Where's my song? You don't need to sing. I was just
Well,
enjoying
this
myself.
is a story. How I no.
Oh man, where's the X button on my computer? Let me close this real quick.
Let's talk about it. And then, Bobby, afterwards, we're going to go to you with a little bit of PPW stuff. Zach, you can run us through a little bit of IWS. Alex, I'm really not sure what's going on with your respective independent scene. To be quite honest with you, I have no idea what like restrictions or anything like that are for you right now. But touch on that, and then we'll head to another break. I've got one of my Giselle Shaw clips coming up for y'all.
Ooh, she's a dandy.
She's a stud. Parrish, you first. You're back in the ring.
Yeah.
And better than ever. Talk about it. Tell us what's up.
And your opinion don't matter. No. Sorry. It's simple as put. One of the things that really changed my perspective on a lot of things was watching the Tyler Breeze episode with Chris Van Vliet. And just the way that he's level-headed on his shoulders really kind of made me kind of look at things a little bit differently. And I just kind of stood back and said, hey, am I happy here? And the answer was no. So I went and did something to where I can be happy. And that's the thing. That's all. That's what it's about. I mean, when you love something, you got to follow your passion, your heart, and things like that. And I wanted to make sure that, tomorrow I can wake up and be happy, and I can be, passionate about what I love to do, and that is pro wrestling. And let's just face it, it doesn't matter if you're Spencer Love running a wrestling show or Full Force helping out with this wrestling show on October 15th. Everyone in the Love Wrestling brand is changing the game, brother. And let's just face it, we're gonna kill the competition.
All righty.
Yeah.
I like that. Happy Parrish. Greater than happy, Corbin. I can completely agree with that. And that's even said with a lot of love for Happy Corbin. Also, Parrish is going to go after that Wicked Crazy title. I don't disagree. He's on the road to that already. Big Bad Bobby, take us through a little bit of PPW. I know you guys are on the comeback trail as well. Talk to me a little bit.
Anyway, so I mean, the obvious thing, we shut down quite a long time ago and haven't been able to do anything since. We had just started our championship title tournament when the pandemic hit and put things to a halt here in Saskatchewan. We've been looking to get things started up, but we want to do it all properly, make sure everything's done safely. And with the way things are currently right now, we just haven't been willing to pull that trigger just yet. We're waiting for the right time. I think once we do, we're going to go big. I mean, we got to crown a champion. We have 8 competitors left in the tournament as well, 8 great competitors that are going to be vying for that championship to crown the very first Prairie Pro Wrestling champion. So we're looking forward to it. We're trying to do our best to get things back up and running, and hopefully soon. But in the meantime, anyone can still go catch out what we had done prior to that, and hopefully we'll post those first round championship matches soon on YouTube.
Heck yeah, my friend Zach. We've talked a lot about Speedball, Bailey, but we haven't talked a lot about the entirety of the IWS show. I know some big things coming out of that. Talk to us. Let us know what's going on.
I could just spend the rest of the broadcast just like listing a crop of amazing talent who work in the IWS. This is, of course, the original stomping grounds of the likes of Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and 2.0. Lots of talent comes out of there, and lots of talent still exist in IWS. I mean, last night I watched Frankie the Mobster, FTM, the Beast King. I spent the whole match wondering why this Batista-sized wrestler is not signed anywhere yet. And it's a huge shame. We also got a great tag team match between Tabernacle de Team challenging Black Quebecois for the IWS Tag Team Championships. Led to a very nice double turn. I'm very happy to see Black Quebecois as baby faces, as they should be with driven characters like theirs. Tabernacle de Team turning heel, though, that was a bit of a heartbreaker. Tabernacle de Team, they're just like,
they're terrific.
They're terrific.
They're
They're
damn
absolutely terrific. They put on a great show. And again, that main event between Speedball and Matt Angel. I know a lot of champions in the independent scene kind of got their runs kind of cut short because of the pandemic, and a lot of them are returning, and like having the crowd sent home happy with a new champion is the way to go. But man, I could sing the praises of Speedball all night, but we got to talk about Matt Angel. If you need to be seeking out Matt Angel matches. He was a hell of a champion for IWS. He did a great angle running up to claiming the IWS title. Just an absolute talented performer that I think more wrestling fans will appreciate knowing about. Check out Matt Angel.
There's the closing line on that end, friends. So remember it. Alex,
sorry. May I just one more thing?
That wasn't the closing. You blew my spot.
Well, I'm sorry, but there's something that just
somebody clip that.
Also, I apologize, Alex. I will devote more of my time to you. I will plead the fifth on a future question. But man, also superstar Shane Hawk, the Professor H, returned to the ring for the first time in years after a back injury. And man, he took a scary bump at one point that I was very worried about. But again, he persevered. He's back. He had a great match against Bob Animal Anger. I had to choose between two of my favorite Smart and Friends guests in a wrestling match, and it was not fun, but it was a great match to watch. Shane Hawk, welcome back to pro wrestling.
Who did you pick?
Oh, I couldn't pick. I just enjoyed the match. But
the real winner.
But to be honest,
I tried.
But to be honest, like a return match for Shane Hawk, like it wasn't easy, but I think my heart was shifted a little bit askew to his side.
Okay, that's a pick.
We're calling it. We're calling it a pick. Alex, we're going to move on to you. Chat a little bit about what's going on with your local independent scene. Any matches, anything going on? Because again, you're filling me in as much as you're filling in the viewers.
I'll be very honest with personally what's going on in my life. I haven't been able to get out to a lot of shows, but we have a lot of great promotions here in Northern Indiana. Heartland Championship Wrestling had a show last night. There's Honored Pro Wrestling, Revolution Championship Wrestling, Pro Wrestling King. There's a lot of great places. Check them out. Support your local independent wrestling scene. As for myself, I would love to step back in the ring. I'm just looking for the right home and the right time. Personally, I can't get out too terribly much because of personal and medical situations going on. But one day, I'd hope to see it happen.
Let's make it happen. And speaking of support, Danger is Fear. Thank you for throwing us a follow. It is appreciated. Thanks for the love from all of us at Love Wrestling. Let's go to a quick break here. We chatted about a person that I've interviewed recently that I got to cross off the not bucket list, the dream list. I want to interview a lot of people before I pass away, but I got my current list going on right now. Albertan Star Rev Pro Women's Champion. I'm like talking in staccato a lot today, I've started to realize. Rev Pro Women's Champion, Progress Women's Champion, and Albertan Wrestling Star. She kicked her career off right here in Western Canada. Giselle Shaw is my latest guest on Spencer Love Interviews. Here's a clip on, like you sort of alluded to earlier, Zach, having to pick between two individuals. She has been recently feuding with former friend of the show, Mariah May. So I chatted about that. We chatted about Zoe Lucas and a lot of the Brit Rest scene. Here's that from my upcoming interview tomorrow on Love Wrestling. It's very cool to see, too, because, again, you look at yourself and then you look at Zoe Lucas and Mariah May and really the push forward that the women's scene is having there. Just maybe talk to me a little bit about those two specifically and then the scene as a whole.
Mariah May.
That's why I left that one fairly open-ended. I didn't know how you would feel on that one.
No. No, you know what? Like she's amazing. She's seriously, she's such a go-getter. She's so hungry. She is newer to wrestling, which is, like we've all been there. That's cool. But the main thing is that like she's very hungry and she's determined to be really good in wrestling, and like for me, it's like I respect that a lot. She's got so much ideas, I guess. When she goes and wrestles me, and like I respect that, like it's like it kind of like reminds me of when I first started wrestling, and I just wanted to be like the best of the best, and I wanted to wrestle like everyone and everywhere, and like I just like go getter. So it's nice to see that, So I really think that she's going to do well in this business, and she's going to accomplish a lot of things if she keeps going. Zoe Lucas is just phenomenal. She's so great. She's got a great character too. Especially when she's screaming and she's making, all like the fans like cringe, even like myself, and I'm just like, oh God, like it really hurts. Ow, yeah, but it's just like, we've had a great feud and it's still ongoing, and she's just really great to work with as well. A lot of ideas coming in, and it's great. It's great that the women's division of Rev Pro has been flourishing, better than ever.
That is from my upcoming interview with Giselle Shaw on Love Wrestling. I recorded that the morning after my first ever night ring announcing. I think you could tell some points through that interview, especially when you get to the end. That was the last question I asked her on, though. So if that's the worst it gets, I think I'm doing okay. I'm still learning to speak from the diaphragm. I'm learning that one. We'll figure that one out as we go. However, Big Bad Bobby threw a suggestion out there that I really liked, that I would like to chat about as a fellow Major League Wrestling fan. We've got one of the biggest matches in quite literally MLW history coming up. October 2nd, we're finally getting Hammerstone challenging Fatu in a title match. This has been building for the better part of 2.5, 3 years, really, since Contra really formed, since they started to get into that. So, Bobby, we'll let you kick it off, man. Your topic, you're first in line to discuss again what's going to be the biggest match in MLW history.
So this one's massive, and it's done by great booking and stuff, which is what draws me into MLW all the time. Hammerstone became extremely popular, especially over the pandemic. He wasn't doing a whole lot of matches, but over social media, his popularity just grew more and more with the fans. In the meanwhile, Jacob Fatu's been going all over the place, just kicking the butts of everybody who steps in the ring with him. I mean, destroy him. This guy is a phenomenal champion. He's been holding the title for a good portion of 3 years, and Contra Unit in MLW have been doing everything they can to separate Hammerstone from Fatu, not allowing him near him. They brought in Mods Kruger as basically a big decoy to Alexander Hammerstone earlier this year, and they've been putting this off for the longest time. So Hammerstone finally wins the Battle Riot, gets to challenge, and it's going to be for title. Hammerstone, the first and only open weight champion in MLW, going to defend that title against Jacob Fatu for the MLW Heavyweight Championship. This thing is massive. It's going to be big. Fightland is going to be a big card. It's also featuring the return of Tajiri to a wrestling ring on that show as well, too.
Which is
so a lot to talk about that night for them.
It's going to be massive, man. And like you said, Hammerstone's really a guy who, in spite of the circumstances around the pandemic, was still able to build himself, still able to get out there. The guy's an absolute monster. And like I've said it a million of times on a stream, Fatu is incredible. Absolutely friggin' incredible. Those two guys are going to blow the roof off the place. And the thing that I like the most about it is like, yeah, it's two big meaty men slapping meat, but it's two very different big dudes wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, even in Fatu's case, he, for a guy who's 300 pounds, is fast, agile. He can do a fucking moonsault off the top rope. Excuse my language. There again is I guess, our one on that extreme end.
I'll give you my swear word today, so it's okay.
I appreciate it. You'll float me one. It's going to be real cool. Hammerstone's just like the buffest dude in wrestling. I will also say, though, like, for all of our musical fans out there, I can't remember the last time I heard Alexander Hammerstone and didn't try and do like a Hamilton sing along with it.
Yeah, the other great thing about that card too is EJ and Duca. Anyone who has not had a chance to go check out EJ and Duca, go check the judge out. This guy debuted at the Battle Riot. He was one of the highlights of the show. Big boy, trained over in NXT, released from NXT, joins the MLW roster. Man, this guy is going to kick some serious butt for MLW. Check him out.
Well, Davey Richards in MLW again too after the MLW draft over the summer. It's pretty cool to see the momentum behind him, man. Like, you can never be upset when the independent promotions out there and the bigger independent promotions out there start to grow, right? A rising tide raises all boats. Now, as we continue along, gotta stop the show to thank Throwback gifting a sub out there. It is appreciated as all hell, and you're doing it at a great time because, of course, as we've mentioned a couple of times throughout the stream, change the game, October 15th. Edmonton, Alberta, at the Rec Room, South Edmonton Common. If you ain't in Edmonton, try and get here. I know we've got Zach making his way out to the capital city of Alberta for the show. And if you've got the opportunity to be there live, feel encouraged to. But
I'm happier now.
Right, as you should be. But we will be streaming it exclusively here on Love Wrestling. Our first match announcement is coming out tomorrow in 10 minutes. We've got the official poster reveal coming out. It's going to be a heck of a time. I'm real excited for that one. Parrish, of course, is going to be a part of the show. Match.
Yes, Spencer, I'd also like just to say thank you for adding me to a poster. I haven't been on one in a while, so thank you.
You're welcome. And actually, you can thank Zach for that one, the official graphic designer of Love Wrestling Times Force Pro Wrestling. Change the game. Make sure you pick your tickets up. Admittedly, I should have done the good advertising job on my end and had ye ol' ticket link pulled up here, but say la vie.
Well, you know what they can do though. In the meantime, before they get their tickets, they can go to lovewrestling.ca/shop, and they can get so much good stuff from there.
Actually, I've got to restock the shop, to be honest with you. We've got stickers. I can tell you we've got stickers.
Yeah, we do.
Our mugs.
Yeah, there we go.
Mugs out last night.
That wasn't planned.
Mugs out last night. Sold out of masks until Monday.
But we have fanny packs still, correct?
That's true. Fanny packs are always in stock.
I'm gonna buy
you
one
wish
when
you
I
could
come out to Edmonton.
You wish you could go? It'll be fun to watch. Is it going to be online also? Yes, it is. And not only that, you've already done a great job of supporting. And by doing so, you're going to gain access to the exclusive interactive chat, all that sort of stuff. We're going to be doing a subscribers only stream as far as the comment sections go. So it'll be free to watch, comment section to interact, to hang out, to chat, to do all that good stuff, to get the exclusive Love Wrestling emotes. You're going to have to go ahead and be kind, throw us a subscription, but however you choose to support, it is always appreciated. Shit, I've rambled for a bit. That tends to happen, most of the time in whatever I'm doing. I was going to say on stream, but that ain't even the case. It happens elsewhere. Zach, going to throw you under the bus here, man. Throw us a comment, throw us a topic, throw us something. Just like add through those custom emotes in the chat there. Look at JP. Look how handsome he is there. What a pop.
Topic. I mean, like the NWA is still pretty exciting. I mean, like this past Tuesday on Power Out, Bobby joined me as well as Lawrence. We discussed this past weekend of a very promo heavy edition of NWA Power. Like there was probably like 7 or 8 promos. Each one of them was interrupted by someone else. A little bit of sensory overload, but again, after a very strong pay-per-view, it's easy to forget a strong pair of pay-per-views, I should say. It's very easy to forgive one episode that wasn't maybe up to top tier quality. Other than that, nothing too new unless we're doing plugs yet.
Zach, if I can just
you go ahead, Zach.
Can we have an appreciation for Nick Aldis and his historic reign as NWA World's Heavyweight Champion? That was absolutely amazing. And congratulations to Trevor Murdoch, who's an absolute stud and a traditionalist. And it was just an amazing moment to watch in professional wrestling. Like these two guys embodied what pro wrestling is truly about. And it was just magic to watch. True magic. Nick Aldis, you're amazing. And Trevor Murdoch, you're a gem.
And our champion. There's a lot of our champions here at Love Wrestling. We're behind the blue collar baby.
One champion to another.
Nobody though. I think we can all agree on this. Like nobody is a blue collar baby face quite like Trevor Murdoch. At least not right now. That guy, like you said, Parrish, is a traditionalist. #1 contender to the Love Wrestling Championship. Yeah, you pay for a logo with your face on it, and then you can be the #1 contender. Zach, you know what? You asked about doing plugs, and I think we'll transition nicely in here. I'm throwing up your video clip and then talk to us a little bit about Smark and Friends this week. We'll then go around the circle. Big Bad Bobby will hit you next. Alex Parrish and I'll close her out here on Love Wrestling because it lets me look up who we're going to raid here on Twitch. So, clip, here it is. Ha-ha!
Oh, nope. That's next week right there. That's
Well
at
done.
risk of kind of like heading toward bringing this podcast at more of a somber tone. I feel it'd be remiss if we didn't take a moment to discuss Joseph Hudson, Josephus, the question mark. Again, not so much a question. I'm just wondering if you want to take a moment, express any thoughts you have on his absence in the National Wrestling Alliance.
Well, we feel it every day, and he comes up, and everyone's got a Josephus story. Everyone, because he was so enigmatic and he was so creative. And I remember one time, our first set of tapings at GPB Studios. Joseph was there, and for whatever reason, there was a piano in the hallway. It was probably for some other show that just needed a piano. And he sits down and he's just playing beautifully on this piano. And one of the other wrestlers, somebody came up and sat next to him. I can't remember who this was. I might be retelling their story, as a matter of fact. But nevertheless, they sat down and they said, Joseph, is there anything you can't do? And without missing a beat, he said, have a successful relationship, and just kept playing. And it was just, he was so quick and he was so funny. And he was such a good dude to be around. And, we all miss him. I'm super glad that we have the Mongrovian flag hanging in the NWA arena, as it should. And he'll always be a part of our history. And there were so many great moments. I mean, if you take a look at that empty arena match, which was well before COVID, so we were way ahead of our time on that one.
Pioneers.
Between him and Tim Storm, those guys beat the crap out of each other in that empty arena. And so, there's so many big moments that he's always going to be a part of. And we carry him in our hearts, we carry him in our minds. And, and going forward, everything we do, we know he's looking down, and we know he's smiling. And
What a stud, man. Joe Galley just seems like a great dude.
He really was. We had a good talk. Of course, we talked about the pay-per-views as they were upcoming at the time, but we also talk about his work as a broadcast journalist. Like he works as a news reporter for down in San Antonio. We talk about one viral clip that he was involved in which a troll on air shouts "effer" right in the P, and how he masterfully handled said troll on air. It's quite entertaining, and we got him to read some of the YouTube clips from it. Good
I absolutely
times.
loved it, man. It was a great chat. Before we get to your guest next week, want to give a quick shout out. Yo, Milk Talks. How you do? Sorry, it's an exclamation point. Milk Talks. There we go. Got to give it proper excitement behind that. It is good to see you, friend. Thank you for tuning in for the last few minutes we've got here on Sunday Brunch. Zach, please continue along. And I screwed up clicking through on the video clips last time, so I'm letting you handle it. Give us a preview of what you got going on next week.
We're returning to form a little bit for the original incarnation of Smark and Friends, which was originally designed as a watch-along podcast in which I would welcome creatives and other content creators to watch pro wrestling. And the kicker is they are not themselves pro wrestling fans. So this coming week, I have the host of the Punk Roquette Show, Emily Plamondon, is going to join me for a watch-along of Heidi Lovelace versus Kimber Lee. This is, of course, with footage provided by First Wrestling. You're going to be able to listen to it as a podcast, and we'll cue you in when to hit play. But you can also join us on Twitch to watch the thing in full together, and I hope you'll be a part of it. That's going to air this coming Thursday.
Awesome to hear, man. I always look forward to your interviews. It's like I said the other day, too. It's like, I met you first as a content creator, and you're dang good at it. A quick reminder, friends, we're a minute away from the launch of the official poster for Love Wrestling Times Force Pro Wrestling Change the Game, which that lovely individual in the bottom right of the screen is, to make a pun on a show of mine, the mind behind Bobby. Alex, before we get to you guys, want to throw a quick thank you to our friend Throwback for the cheers. It is appreciated. I want to say it's amazing the things you guys have done. I was lucky to watch a video of Parrish Wrestling, and it was amazing. I can also vouch for that. It was great, and I can't wait to see what's next. Again, thank you guys for the support. No, man, thank you. It is appreciated, and I know I speak for not just the folks here at Love Wrestling, but like a lot of individuals in the professional wrestling community when we thank you for the support. You're one of the best dudes out there. We appreciate the hell out of you, Throwback. Bobby, we're going to move to you next, my friend. What's going on this week for you, whether it's with ring rust, whether it's your stuff on Backbreaker or anything in between?
This week I might be doing some more tapings of Ring Respect Radio. Nothing in the works just yet. And Bob Smokes and I are also going to be looking to get back on the commentary team. Like I said, maybe get some of the matches of the first round of the Prairie Pro Wrestling tournament out there for people to enjoy. But instead of just doing all the plugs like I do every week, I just want to take a quick moment and say, with all the talk of mental health this week, everybody make sure that you understand that we're all willing to listen and help out and stuff like that. So if you're ever going through any mental health problems, reach out to anybody. We're always here to listen and, take care of everybody.
Excellent shout, Bobby. Excellent shout there, my friend. I completely agree with you. And there's not much else to say, but if you ever need it, feel free to reach out. I'm sure I speak again for anyone here on Love Wrestling. If you need an open ear, need a friend. I know it's cliche to say, but we're here. Alex, moving to you, my friend. What do you got going on this week? I know you're one of the guys who's most often on screen here at Love Wrestling, and that is something we appreciate. So tell us when we can see you here in the next little bit.
Oh, man, there's just so much going on. Always working, always recording here in my home studio. You can find me on Twitch this Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. At EctoGuy87. There it is, where I'll be doing some gameplay. But you can always find me here on the weekends for Blowing Up Stream, Reacts, and Sunday Brunch, as you can see here. A special shout out goes to Turnbuckle Talk and Joe, Mighty Joe, our own. Go check them out. Give them some give them some subscribes. They got some great stuff going on over there. Great conversations between him and his buddy Carl. So if you love just sitting down listening to something, got a couple minutes, want to check it out, go check out Turnbuckle Talks.
Completely agree with you, my friend. And you got a great opportunity to get in on the ground floor, at least as far as Turnbuckle Talks debut on Love Wrestling. They'll be debuting right here on our Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook live channels tomorrow at their regularly scheduled time of 5 p.m. Eastern. Very excited to have them on. They're great individuals. You've heard them a lot on Turnbuckle Rewind, and now you're going to get to see the live show right here on Love Wrestling. I'm going to throw this up here real quick, Parrish, before we get to you as well. Enjoy work. Unfortunate you got to spend the Sunday doing so, but I hope you enjoy it as much as you can. Milk Talks. See, I've got to be excited when I say it. It was great seeing some of y'all at IWS yesterday. Thank you for getting out there and saying hi to the friends. And also, I know it's cliche. I say it so friggin' often on this show, but thank you for supporting your independent wrestling. Parrish, as we did last night, hopping in with RCW, so I know you've got a match coming up with them, but where else can people keep track of you, my friend, whether they want to keep track of your Love Wrestling Championship reign or anything in between? You picked a good time to hop in, Judd. Parrish to RCW confirmed exactly the first match coming up. Where and when?
If you want instant knowledge of where I'll be at POS sponsor Beardcade YEG later tonight as they play AEW's All Out. So if you're in the Edmonton area, please come check us out because Beardcade does a great work, and we also thank them for their sponsor and their participation in our journey of just being the number one podcast, where you can go to ratethispodcast.com/love wrestling if you just need something you feel like.
There we go.
That's why they call me the champ. But I'll also, this Friday I'll be returning to the ring as I'll be facing Dean Richter in my first return match with Real Canadian Wrestling. But also there is dialogue between Cameron Stevens and myself for an episode of Inspired. So make sure you're looking at that. And let's also make sure we give some shout out to one of our favorite Australians, Josh Robinson, as he is killing it on the legacy of. He is absolutely one of the bravest guys I personally am just appreciated to know in my life. So make sure you show him some love because he is a beaut. And he got a little plug on the Iconics podcast
he did. I was excited for that one.
I know that made his day. So.
Well, and if you want to, as Parrish just said, show some love to Josh Robinson, you can do so right now. The latest edition of his show on Love Wrestling, The Legacy of, is out right now rather than later tonight as All Out airs. You can check that out on Renee Paquette, of course, one of the premier broadcasters in professional wrestling. Tomorrow morning, you guys are going to get a double dose of podcast action. Poetry of a Promo returns tomorrow, and my chat with Giselle Shaw occurs as well. Tuesday, we got a full slate for you guys. We've got Power Out. We've got the War Report NXT edition heading your way. And then Wednesday, of course, we have Turnbuckle Rewind and the AEW edition of the War Report. We've also got a special edition of Between Two Beards heading your way this Wednesday. They're going to be chatting some NFL, and then they've got their regularly scheduled show on Thursday with Zach having his conversation. And I'm bad with French, Zach, so you're going to need to hop on the name here for me. His conversation with... Oh, no, come on.
Sorry, my mic was off. Emily Plamondon.
There we go. Coming to you this Thursday. And then, of course, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we've got all your regularly scheduled programming coming your way, blowing off stream, Love Wrestling Reacts, and then rolling right back in to Sunday Brunch at 11 a.m. Mountain, 1 p.m. Eastern. But we're already 5 minutes over our match time, so let's close it out, shutting out some of our friends in the comments as well. Could there be a possibility of Parrish going to Chaotic Wrestling? It would be bloody awesome if that happened. You know what? Selfishly, friend, I will never complain about Chris Parrish getting everywhere and anywhere as far as inside the wrestling ring goes, including cheap plug on October 15th at Love Wrestling times Force Pro Wrestling. Change the game. We need Parrish in Beyond, Chaotic, or NEW. We need Parrish everywhere, including right here on Love Wrestling. For Parrish, for Alex, for Zach, for Bobby, we are going to be closing it out here on Facebook and YouTube. But if you guys are on Twitch, you guys are going to join us heading over to our champion, Speedball Mike Bailey stream. He is doing hot takes with Speedball. So we will see you guys over there in a couple of seconds. I'm hitting the music. We'll see you in a couple of seconds on the Twitch side. For Facebook and YouTube, we're out for another edition of Sunday Brunch.